Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, we're going to play a little Rakdos Manufacturing again. But this time, in the Ninja Turtles standard, we got a few new cards that are very well synergized with artifacts. Now, of course, most of the artifacts that got introduced in Ninja Turtles are, I think, not Rakdos color. A lot of them are blue. And one of the more used cards, the Improvised Arsenal, I don't think it's as good in this deck because, yeah, we go pretty wide, but we don't have that many creatures that we're attacking with. So this is not the Izzet Artifact Swarm deck. This is the Rakdos Manufacturing deck, which we want to make a lot of munition tokens. Now, along with that, the biggest thing with munitions deck that we used to kind of curve into was Tezzeret, which gets the ultimate very easily. Now, with new Ravenous Robot, we can actually get it even more easier. So, yeah, every time we play an artifact spell, we get a 1/1 Robot artifact, which will trigger Tezzeret. So, every artifact from either weapons or Ravenous Robot triggers Tezzeret, which will build into a very big oaths very easily, and in fact we can multi-oath Tezzeret and get a multiple emblem. These emblems stack, so that's pretty important. We also got the Ooze, a very good card in this sort of drawn out kind of style game where we can keep making munitions tokens, and those munition tokens are going to exile our opponent's graveyard every time we tap, which already is pretty good, right? But we also add to that the munition that triggers Tezzeret, which can help us get more ults. So that's kind of the idea of what makes this deck work, at least in my opinion. Now, of course, that does play into the current meta, which is very heavily graveyard-orientated, so the Ooze will be a very good card. But because it's a 2-drop, we can't actually tutor the Ooze out, so we have to get a tutorable Graveyard Hay from Tezzeret, which we can do with 1-mana Soul Guide Lantern. And another thing from Lorwyn that I don't think anyone overlooked, but I think a lot of people forgot to put into this deck is the Springleaf Drum, right? We have a lot of artifact creatures that we can use to get extra mana off the Springleaf Drum and then be able to trigger Tezzeret or pull off the combo quicker. Now, before Ninja Turtles, Springleaf Drum does exist, but it won't work as well in a deck that doesn't make creatures, the deck that just makes munition, right? But now that we have Ravenous Robot that makes those 1/1s, those 1/1s can be used to activate mana from the Springleaf Drum as well. And that's really how this deck can curve out. So that's my idea of the deck. Of course, as traditional, the deck is full of 1-mana artifact that we can tutor out with Tezzeret. For 2 mana, it's really just about card draw, like Tarrian's Journal, damage, like Legion Extruder, and then the ultimate combo with Umbra Collar Zella and shotgunning out all of our munition tokens and dealing 2 damage every time we do that. So that's kind of the whole idea of the deck. Let's talk about the deck list, right? So turn 1, we got our 2 Clockwork Percussionists and 2 Rust Harvester. In the beginning, I ran 4 Clockwork Percussionists, but I find it's not as good because, well, 1/1 for 1 mana is middling nowadays in standard, right? It's just trash. And even though it has haste, you don't really get to attack with them because you want to block since you're really on the back foot a lot. And 1-mana 1/1 blocker isn't great, even though it does draw you a pseudo impulse draw you a card, right? So I changed it to Rust Harvester, which now is great against the Badger Mode decks because we can keep blowing up those Badger Mode creatures and meanwhile build up a big Rust Harvester if we need to. Also tutorable with Tezzeret. And then we also have 4 Grim Bauble and 3 Torch the Tower. These are our removals in case our opponent's going first. They got creatures like Landware Elves that we got to kill. We can kill them that way. We also have 3 Springleaf Drum, which we don't mind playing out turn 1 so that we can get extra mana on turn 2. And then 1 Soul Guide Lantern, which normally you don't want to play out in turn 1 in this deck, right? With the Soul Guide Lantern, you want to hold it until you can combo it with the Weapons Manufacturer or the Ravenous Robot, or try to catch your opponent off guard, exiling one of their Cavaros pieces. And then we have 1 Basilisk Collar. This is a late addition to the deck that I kind of get blown out by a few aggro decks that I wish I had a little bit of life gain. If I just had a little bit of life gain, especially against those Rakdos discard decks, right? Just a little bit of life gain. If I can gain 2-3 life here or there, I can actually survive, and then my end game combo will start, overwhelming them. But the problem is, there are no other cards life in this deck. Basilisk Collar can help us do that. Not only does it give a creature or equipped creature lifelink, it also gives it death touch. So we can kind of fight up if we need to, if they have a big creature like those mono green decks sometimes do. And Basilisk Collar is great because this deck we can Tezzeret into 3+1 counter when you ult onto anything, and then we can build any of those up and then put a Basilisk Collar on it to get a lot of life in one turn. That's kind of the idea. And then we have our 2-mana play, Tarrian's Journal. This is one of the more important cards in the deck. You have to craft 3 off. If you don't have it, the sack an artifact to draw a card is not just drawing a card, which is already very important. This also sacks an artifact, like the weapons manufacturing tokens, to deal damage. So that's why it's in the deck. Right, we have 4 Legion Extruder. Well, let's say a damage dealers. 4 Legion Extruder, and then 2 Abrade. These are going to deal damage. 4 weapons manufacturing, also dealing damage. 2 Ravenous Robots for, board presence. And then 1 the Ooze for board presence, and of course 4 Umbrella Zealot for shotgunning effects. You can always use the Umbrella Zealot to surveil until you hit 1 card you need from the top of your deck. It's not just for raise the pass, right? You can actually sack a lot of artifact and Umbrella Zealot in this deck just to fix your draw a little bit, because sometimes you don't want to toss those lands. And then for Tezzeret, you need to have 4 Tezzeret in this deck. This deck is all about Tezzeret. So then, lastly, 20 lands total. I cut all the lands out because I keep getting flooded. So now, 4 basic lands, 1 swamp, 3 mountains, 4 Blazemire Verge, 4 Blood Crypt, 4 Multiversal Passage, and 4 Starting Town. All the lands that can come into play untapped in the early game, because we got to curve out exactly in turn 1, 2, and 3. So that's the whole idea of the deck. Let's go into the game and see how well we will do. Alright, our opponent is Zesty Lemon, the Eternal Taskmaster. Okay. We'll make do with this. I mean, if I'm gonna shock myself for 2 next turn... No. I'd shock myself for 2 this turn. Aye. You're done mulliganing? Cool. Red. Here is the clock. White. White no plays, huh? Do I want to put out the journal? Or do I want to clock him twice? Let's clock him twice. I don't know what deck this is. He's got white mana. And this color, or this type of basic land kind of tells me he's not control. Well, not blue-white control at least. Helpful Weaver, yeah. Alright, well, do I let his Weaver be helpful? Or do I shoot it off? The cops are after me because of that play. It's criminal. Legion Extruder is just so good, right? We just sack it. You know what? Let's just do it. We make him waste his Weaver. Spellbook Vendor. Okay, I could Ooze, and I can Tarrian's Journal, or I could Tezzeret. I think we Tez here. I think we Tez here.
Defying me will be your last. Even the
I'll give Grim Bauble.
Trinket
That kills it, right? Haha! I knew that. I knew how my deck works. Yeah, this is white deck.
Soon you will grovel.
Nice, helpful Weaver. Guess what? He wasn't that helpful. Tezzeret's OP. Tezzeret's really OP. Alright, got a Seam Rip. Something. No, don't really care. Oh no! Well, it's just gonna come in and deal damage if I can kill the Seam Rip. I don't think there is a card in this deck that kills the Seam Rip here. It's a Rakdos. He has 2 mana open, which, I mean, like, you could do that, but it doesn't help. Let's Ooze. Do I Ooze here? Definitely want Tarrian's Journal, right? That's definitely coming down. The question is, am I sacking a Clockwork Percussionist? does discarding my hand do? Discard your hand, transform. Becomes a land, and you may cast a creature card from your graveyard. And it enters the finality counter. That's not as insane. So just gonna do the regular sack another artifact creature. Sack the Bauble to draw a card. Can I get weapons? So I can get it to 4. Sack it, get it to 5. Not quite, right? And I can minus? I don't think minus does much. So I'm gonna bring out the ooze. Let's get the ooze on. Our opponent's roping. He has the flying thing, but he's gonna rope out before he gets to the flying thing. And since I can't get it to 4, or get it to 7, I think I will just minus 3 to get constant value out of the Tezzeret.
This technology is advanced.
Yeah, it is pretty advanced. So he might get sheltered by ghosts, right? The question is, do I want to just get another Grim Bauble here? If he plays a 2/2 and then shelters, he doesn't get to 3, right? Yeah, let's just get a Grim Bauble here. Alright, I guess we wait for our opponent to also rope. For a while. I mean, we all know he has the flying thing. That's the only thing that's haste. Or he has Sharp Mage Rescue, which is funnier if he wants to cast that on my stuff. Yeah, somehow this deck has flash creatures. That would be hilarious. Alright. He's gonna rope out. He is gonna rope out. There you go. You finished with your rope? There's a shelter? No, it's just gonna see Tezzeret and quit. I'll take that. Alright, our opponent is Zola Porpete. I know how to read. Alright, there's our untimely malfunction. I put it in the deck for a reason. Let's see if our opponent's going to play Starcage again, huh? Alright, fun fact. I've tried this deck past 4 games. Every game has been Starcage. Never seen Starcage before when I play any other deck. Against this deck, it doesn't stop coming. Can't stop, won't stop. Alright, does not look like a Starcage deck now. Of course, that's what happens. So, we'll Springleaf Drum. Like I said, it's better to Springleaf Drum turn 1 because it's harder to interact with, then playing on a creature, and then playing on Springleaf Drum turn 2. Multiversal Verge, huh? Well, we're gonna play our Percussionist. See what our opponent does with 2 red mana. Nothing, then we will use the Percussionist mana for a Umbrella Zella. He'll probably kill it. Could also use that for the Ooze, but I think it's better for the Zella here. Ever so slightly. Marginally better. This is just Izzet lessons, right? Like he's got blue mana locked behind the Verges, which is funny. Abandon? Okay. Oh, he's gonna throw away a Detect Intrusion. Cool. I mean, if we get the Ooze down, we can start exiling his lessons. This is not the Izzet Lessons deck. This is the Izzet Crabs deck. No, throwing away the bird. Ha! Mana screwed. Mana screw much. Get out of here, Zolporpede and your Izzet Crabs. Alright, our opponent is McKimbty. Check it out, opponent goes first. Wouldn't have it any other way. Ally. Wow. That's a crazy turn 1 play. Get rid of that. Another ally, South Pole Voyager. He gains the life. We get rid of your South Pole Voyager. Great Divine Guide. Well, I have no way to get rid of the third one, so I guess that will live. Weapons into rust. Any way for me to sack an artifact? Nope, not easy. So, we'll Rust Harvester. I might be able to take advantage of that mana, so we'll go through it this way. Earth and Ally? Okay, that's fine. Earth gains Lieutenant. Slightly less fine, but I can handle that, right? So this is actually pretty good. So we Springleaf Drum. We Bauble. And then I can use the drum and the harvester to sack something. If he attacks. I'm giving him 4 mana. That's not smart. We'll sack this. Munition. Kill your Voyager. You got caught! Nice 1/1s. They're not gonna do much now, are they? Alright, I could play the Tezzeret, but I don't have anything in the graveyard. So maybe it's better just to sack the Bauble. Oh, what does it do? I don't want him to have all that mana, right? So I will sack the Bauble. I can make a 3/3. I can sack this to make a 3/3. I can do this to get a creature, and I can get a Bauble, and I can Bauble one of those. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go, Tezzy.
Everything you own will be. Even the smallest trinket has its use. There is no system I can't improve.
I don't think Tezzeret lives, but that does make you have to attack Tezzeret instead of using it for mana. Now, if he has to get lost or something, I guess we'd die to that, but I'm okay with that. I don't really need Tezzeret now that we have Weapons Manufacturing live. Wartime Protester. They both coming in? They have to both come in. And if they both come in, that means I can trade one.
Enjoy your win for now.
So how do I do this? I can sack a Bauble. So I had to sack a Bauble this way. I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need like 7 mana, right? I don't have anything in the graveyard. So I guess we sack a Bauble for a 3/3 and then break one of these. Why couldn't I surveil? Oh, I made a 3/3 that way. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, he's gonna ang something. does he aim? My 3/3? That creature gains haste. It's pretty annoying. But I guess we'll let him do that. I do want to kill one of these, right? Do I just kill this 1/1 here? It's annoying, but not the end of the world. In fact, I want the Percussionist to die. It's just a Lana. Ooh, a Tarrian Journal is insanely good here. Alright, so I could deal 3 damage or something. But that's not quite enough, right? 3 damage. I would need to sack one of the munitions to blow up the Great Divide guy. Yeah, this is what's killing me. It's getting extra mana out of nothing. Really blow that up. I had to take 2 just to keep this mana up. No attack. We'll end turn here. All his allies will have haste, but he only has 3 mana now. If they're all coming in, just the 3/4, which we will have to take, down to 3. We will kill this. Torch. Nah, a little late for that, but I'll still take it. Sack an artifact. Deal. We'll deal 2 damage to this. Draw a card. Weapons. Okay. Sack another one. Deal 2 damage to this. Alright. I don't have any artifacts in the graveyard. So I have to hold up 3 mana to sack and 2 mana to use, so I can't use any mana for anything else. We'll pass turn. And I'll have to respond to whatever he plays. Earth an ally. I don't think I have to respond to that. Ooh, that's... I'm giving it haste. Alright. Fine. That was a mistake, but they're both coming in. So, 1 blocks here. 1 blocks here. 2 blocks. And I'm gonna sack this, the Surveil. I guess we take a Zealot. Right? And then we will tap to kill your Wartime Protester. Tap this one. I don't think it matters. 4 damage to it. Sack the last of our munition. 2 damage to that. I am at 3, which is pretty low on life total. But just throwing out these Umber Color Zealots will help. Now we turn the corner. And I still have a torch if I need to use it. Even this game, right? Even with this terrible deck, we still barely scraped through. Well, not through, yeah, we still have 3 life. So, there's no life gain in the deck. Our opponent decided the rope route because he didn't win. Raccoons! Alright, I mean, he is not Sokka. Sokka's not this much of a sore loser, is he? I don't remember the show. I remember it was fun. Not this kind of loser. He's gonna rope out. Come on. Just gonna emo him now. Alright, we'll give him the good old Thunder Junction. Nobody likes this card emo. Alright, so yeah, what's our plan next turn? I mean, aside from him blowing up, I guess we Tarrian Journal, probably the Springleaf Drum, or maybe the 3/3 to draw a card. Hopefully we get one artifact down. If we just get one artifact, everything starts triggering off itself because of the weapons manufacturing, but we need one at least. And then we kind of just go through from there, right? Everything we sack. Otherwise, maybe we... I was going to say, otherwise maybe we flip Tyrion's Journal. But we have nothing in the graveyard for Tyrion's Journal to even bring back with the finality counter. Yeah, again, it doesn't matter. Game's over already. Our opponent has decided the rope route, which is the loser route. He did... Alright, McEmpty, I guess he decided to be a loser. Should I? This is a long rope. Alright, well, I already talked through the rope, and you all have to suffer with me. Blame Arena for having this kind of algorithm. No pet. Avatar deck. I mean, hey, look, it's cool you like Avatar. I like Avatar. It's cool that you like Magic. I like Magic. It's not cool that you like to be a sore loser. I might be a sore loser sometimes, but at least I don't act like this. Alright? Like, this is petulant. You can just quit. You know, if you lose, you go back to the next game. You don't have to make the game less fun for everybody else just because you are not good at the game. You can learn. You can be better. And don't do this. We all watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You can do better, Senator. There you go. GG. Alright, our opponent is Pip1432. He's a Pip boy. There's a piping hot mess of a hand. Okay, well, we don't have a turn 1 play, but I could hold up a torch. So, we'll just do that. Black, Beaver. Did I torch the Beaver? I think we do. Right? I don't want to fall behind on mana. Because this turn I want to play... No, I want to play the Tyrion's Journal. Now that it's out there. Next turn, I could play the Tezzeret. I understand that was my only flash speed interaction, but otherwise I'll be behind on mana every turn. I don't want to be behind on mana every turn. I want him to play 2 creatures. He won't do that. He's going to play a Master Splinter. Well, it's not 2 creatures, but it will take 2 spells to kill. Do I let this out? It's a ninja deck, right? That's kind of tricky. But you know what? We got kill spells. We might as well use it to kill it. And I don't have to sack the Bauble to draw. Although I probably should. No. I can sack the Bauble for Legion Extruder, and I can sack that 3/3 to draw. Leonardo! 1/1 lifelinker. Oh, that's a card. We'll get Tezzeret out here.
I will seize my new future. Every piece grants me.
Let me get another Grim Bauble. Let's make this grim.
Soon you will grovel.
Soon this will be grim. He's gonna get 3 1/1s out here. That's pretty annoying. I don't think Tezzeret lives through the 3 1/1s, right? So how do we do this? We can... No, I think we play a land first. We sack a Grim Bauble for a 3/3. They give us a 1/1.
My network is already.
Now I can sack Tezzeret for a 1/1, which I will.
Ah, just what I needed.
You get the next Grim Bauble. Kill one of them. Sack one of these. Kill that. We'll get another one. I would like to draw a card. Abrade. Okay. I can't cast anything from the graveyard. You don't have any creatures. So the backside of Tarrian's Journal isn't very useful. I think the front side is more useful. Shoot the Sheriff just to get something through, right? Okay. Fair enough. Here's Kaito, I guess. You do all that just to get your Kaito through. You could have just hardcasted Kaito. Okay, get 3/1/1s. Yeah. I suppose. What are we gonna get here? Ravenous Robot! What if you cast an artifact spell? I can do it on his turn. I don't have to do it right now. Okay, what else is happening here? Tapland. Tragic Trajectory. I could sack it, but I don't think it's worth sacking this. Right? Yeah, I don't think it's worth sacking this because I want to sack the munition anyways. So you got it. It was tragic. How does he not see this? Ah, you're a little late. Okay, so I guess we Tarrian's Journal this up. It's another land. Unfortunately, this is just creature card, right? Cast creature spells, nothing else. So I will play the Zealot because it's a card, and I'll play the Weapon Manufacturing because that's also a card. But we'll hold on to everything as he attacks. He can't get through 2 blockers. Can he? I don't know. No, he just quits. Can't get through 2 blockers. Piping hot mess up. There's blue mana in your deck for no reason. Alright, our opponent is knee. Don't knee me, please. I need you to lose. Our opponent goes first. Well, we do have weapons, so I'm not sad about that opening, but it won't be as easy. Or so I thought. Alright, do we shock in a Blood Crypt here? He has a 1 mana white spell? No way. What? He's on full control mode, probably. Leonardo. Leonardo, go away. Alright, here comes the weapons. Please don't get rid of my weapons. I like my weapons. Essence Channeler? You got any more life gain? No. Okay. If you don't have any more life gain, do we shock this in? I think we do. Grim Bauble. Restoration Magic. Abrade. Nice Restoration Magic, mono white life gain. How many more do you have? Please don't tell me, I don't want to know. Hylia. Okay, can't stop Hylia with what we have so far, except with potentially Tezzeret into a 1-drop.
My purpose is clear. Every piece grants me...
I think we just take the Clockwork Percussionist. It could be sheltered by Ghost, but I think it's worth it. I don't actually care too much about this Tezzeret dying, right?
My will is my own.
This is where Umbercalla Zealot's gonna pay his own way. There's a shelter. Yeah. We all saw this coming. Come on. There's no world where that wasn't happening. And now it gets free card draw every turn. That's a lot of mana. I don't know what I can do to sink into that. I guess we'll just do this again. And we'll build up a big weapons cache.
Technology serves one goal. Even these strange metals answer to me.
I mean, if you say so, Mr. Tezzeret.
My network is already vast. All too easy.
Yeah, he's got a protection spell for Hylia. Oh. He killed his own card draw. Does he still have ward? Wait, no, he doesn't have ward no more.
Next time, you won't stop me.
Right? I'm confused. You got a protection spell you want to use? You got a protection spell you want to use, right? You gotta have a protection spell you want to use. Nope, he lets that go. Springleaf Drum, that's a good card. Okay, okay. So then I can sack the Clockwork Percussionist to then play the drum. Let me get one damage in. That was such a weird play to kill his own shelter. You gotta want to do something, right? You're gonna want to do something. Restoration magic. Torch the tower. And it's dead. Give me back my percussionist, please and thank you. Nice play. Thank you for giving me the game, knee. Oh, here's another one of these. Get a load of this, Joker. Alright, I don't think I can get to kill him, so... Gonna let him... No, he doesn't even draw the card. We'll just go to my turn here. So, I think we get Tezzy out. Let me get the drum.
Everything you own will belong to me. This technology is advanced.
It's only 6.
Too easy.
Can I get to 7 somehow? We'll see. What is my top deck? Basilisk Collar. Oh, wait. Alright, well, the next card is a land, but it don't matter as much.
There is no sit. My will is my own.
We'll shoot that. We'll sack this to shoot that again. We'll keep that. This is -7 here.
No metal escapes my will.
No metal escapes my win.
Back
Back down to 24. Alright. We can activate Tezzeret every turn. I think it's pretty good. Okay. Nice Kinscar Sentry here. And a Hinterland Sanctifier played in reverse. Our opponent's shook. Robot.
My will is my own. There is
I don't
no
really get to
I
pump
can't
this
improve.
for one more somehow, do I? No, not with any of these. So I guess Tezzeret just goes. Let me search our library for...
Just what I needed.
How many cards are in my graveyard? 1, 2. There's at least 2. So let's get out Rust Harvester. We can take 2 mana and equip it onto this Death Touch Lifelinker. Oh, you're just gonna GG. You might as well. The game is over. Alright, our opponent is Xion. Okay. Xion's letting us go first. Turn 1 drum. Can't use the drum for anything, but turn 1 drum is turn 1 drum, right? I guess we play it. I could use the drum to sack the drum to the Tarrian's Journal. Please Badger Mole deck? No? Okay, well. At least we have this. Weapons Manufacturing is as good of a turn 2 play as possible. They're just gonna pass turn here and not play anything? No, they're gonna play Overlord. Cavaros. Cavaros the deck. Well, Ravenous Robot is gonna give us a manufacturing token, and I can Tezzeret. So at least I have that for next turn. But we gotta fight the Cavaros somehow. And counterspells. Cash grab. Alright, he's gonna grab some cash. And he already has Bringer. So that means we have to play this card this turn. And get ourselves the Sogai Lantern. And then play ourselves the Sogai Lantern.
I expect success.
Take out that Bringer.
Menaced, bow to your new
Bow to your Overlord. Cavaros deck. It's important for us to get at least the Lantern on. Now, we only have 1 Lantern, so it's... What is he going to bring in? Terror? If he just wants to bring in a Terror here and kill Tezzeret... No, he doesn't even kill Tezzeret. He does need to play another creature to kill Tezzeret. And since he didn't... We can Legion Extruder.
Soon you will.
2 damage.
This technology is advanced. I expect success.
Pay this. Sack 1 of these. Like this. This came in this turn, right? Yeah, sack the one that came into play this turn. Hit your Cavaros. And now it's gone.
I'm in charge here. Mine is
I'm in charge here.
army of tech. This technology is advanced.
Alright, down to 10. We still have the Sogai Lantern out, so if he does board wipe, we're okay. And if he tries to do something crazy here, Dredger's inside. Well, nothing I can stop him over there. But if he tries to do something crazy here, we can Sogai Lantern his graveyard. Oh, look, he milled nothing. Okay. He already played a land, right? On Elemental 2. Deceit. Annoying. He's probably going to take my Tarrian's Journal. But I think I have lethal, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's lethal. GG. Nice Cavaros deck. Bark, bark. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw all those Rakdos Manufacturing games, how does this deck feel? Well, I gotta say, I had to tech and tune this deck a lot since the first renditions. I didn't show the deck list in the first renditions, but I shoved in 4 Clockwork Percussions because I thought it would be good. I didn't have any Abrade, and I think I had 4 Ravenous Robots because I was a little bit greedy. I didn't have any Clockwork, or I didn't have any Basilisk Collar, no Rust Harvesters, and I keep getting blown out by the Star Cage. Every one of my opponent has Star Cage on turn 3, and that was very frustrating, but, you know, sometimes you learn. So now I put in Abrade to fight the Star Cage early game. Late game, it doesn't matter. If we have weapons manufacturing out, if they Star Cage, they're going to take a lot of damage. So that is okay. And honestly, I think now this version of the deck does have what it takes to fight any kind of meta deck, right? Against Badger Mole, aggros, we have a lot of removal early game. We got Torch, we got Grim Bauble, we got Rust Harvester building up. All that goodness. Right? Against mid-game, we have a lot of tempo cards. So things like Aclazotz, things like Tezzeret, these are mid-game cards because 3 mana, very easy to cast. Rust Harvester is also a mid-game card because for 1 mana 1/1, it doesn't seem that scary, but he is menacing, not only because he has menace, because we can exile cards from our graveyard to build it up. And as we build up, it becomes scarier and scarier, and opponent has to answer it. Legion Extruder is another mid-game card that just keep making 3/3 threats, and opponent has to answer those 3/3 threats. And every one of their answer does not hurt us at all, especially if we're sacking our munition tokens. And of course, late game, we got the weapons plus Aclazotz to just kind of endlessly chain that off, and then shoot our opponent for like 1,000,000 damage. So this deck, I do think, has legs to stand, and I think it's very strong. Unfortunately, Grim Bauble is a -2/-2 and not a -3/-3. I wish Nowhere to Run is an artifact. I would definitely run it in this deck, but it's not. And there was a few games where our opponent Sheltered by Ghost that I was thinking, oh man, I wish I had Nowhere to Run, but that's okay, right? They locked it out themselves for whatever reason, and we're able to win that game. But without it, I don't know how we will fight that game. Probably just put a wide board of creatures, and if he attacks, we just chump block. And that would still be okay. So that's the idea of this deck. I do think it's very strong, but it does have a learning curve. Once you learn how to play it, you will have fun playing it. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.